Buongiorno everyone, and it is a buongiorno, it is a good morning, an early start here this Thursday rainy morning in the Tomb, because it was an early kick-off for us in the UK over there in America. 1:15 the game against Chelsea last night kicked off, so there hasn't been much sleep, but we had to recap that game. If you've seen it, let us know what you thought. If you haven't, hopefully I can fill you in, because there's a lot to talk about, to be fair, in this pre-season game. And this pre-season feels a bit less pre-season-y than any one before, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Because it's the summer series in America, it just, when you watch these games, I just get a real feel of more competitiveness than a usual pre-season game. You know, it's always a lot slower for me pre-season, it's a lot more sluggish, people are getting up to pace with things, and these games in America have started like that, and obviously sometimes they end like that because of the heat issues and everything, because it has been roasting over there in Atlanta, I've heard. So yeah, but you get a real good idea of how intense this pre-season is, and Eddie Howe tried to make it that way last night. It was the starting 11's on your screen there now, and you know, there was some big players in there, and there was a lot of minutes in the tank for those. Now there was no Bruno and stuff, which they'll play on the weekend. I think it's Saturday midnight, so pretty much Sunday. They play Brighton, is it, in the next game, I think? In New Jersey, so they've got some more travelling to do, some more work to be done. But let's focus on the game last night. It did finish 1-1, 1-1 between Chelsea and Newcastle. That mainly due to Nick Pope, who came on second half for Martin Dubravka. Nick Pope with some unbelievable saves in that game, especially in the dying embers against Ben Chilwell. What a stop that was, and Pope is back. Obviously, he's been struggling with an injury the last couple of weeks there, Nick Pope, but he came in, didn't struggle at all against the big shots of Chelsea. Chelsea with some young players in there, which that's the way they're going to go now. They've got a really young squad, and Nicholas Jackson opened up the scoring for them, and he looks a talent mind. I tell you what, that's a scary one. I think that was a bit of a bargain, that. What did they pay? 30 million for him or something? So he looks a really good player. It was a lovely ball in for him to get on the end of, one-on-one, tucked it away against Martin Dubravka. A bit of midfield concerns there, because I thought the pass was very good, but was it a bit too easy? I think, you know, we don't want to jump to conclusion, we don't want to be harsh on Sandro Tonali, but he was amazing against Rangers. But I think in bits in this Premier League Summer Series out in the States, he's looked like he is just obviously getting used to the pace of the Premier League. And obviously it's going to take time. Listen, you know, Bruno was very much eased in, wasn't he? He didn't start for months, and I think you might see something similar with Tonali. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Howe did start him in that first game against Aston Villa, but on the other hand, it's worked before when he's done it with the likes of Bruno and Botman and stuff, where Botman not as much, but especially Bruno, you know, he's really eased them in to life in the Premier League. And I just think there was bits where I thought, oh, Tonali got caught out there, or he wasn't ready for that, and obviously it's Italy, you know, Serie A, it's very different to Premier League, so it's very understandable, and no doubt Tonali is going to be an absolute beast. You know, he looks a top talent. We've seen what he can do for AC, we've seen what he can do in the Champions League. But last night and against Villa in the opening game, I just thought there was moments where, but again, he's brand new. Do you know what I mean? He's brand new to the league, to this team. He's been chucked into a USA pre-season tour where it's boiling hot and that, and he's learning English, and it's all a big change for him. So not at all criticising him, just saying that first goal I think could have been better. And again, defensively it could have been better. You know, I thought this is why we're still trying to get a right centre-back. As much as the club are trying to say, you know, FFP and all that, do not be surprised if we go out and spend 30-40 million on a right-footed centre-back. Don't be, because last night I think it showed that potentially we need somebody who's a bit quicker off the mark. We haven't got that centre-back who can really keep up with people or has a great sprint, you know, like Botman is brilliant, but Botman was the one that Jackson got away from last night, and it's not really his game. I think we need someone who is that bit more athletic next to Botman, and obviously the club have been looking at that. Fabian Shaw is our right-sided centre-back. Jamal Lascelles, the captain, obviously on the bench. But Shaw last night went off with a hamstring injury. Now, Eddie Howe said post-match it isn't serious. It's nothing to be concerned about. But is that a sign of things to come? You know, Shaw did get injured a lot last season. He's the wrong side of 30 now in football terms. So we do need another centre-back. Whether we'll get them this summer or whether we'll wait till January, or if FFP really does restrict us, do we wait until next summer? Hopefully not, because with the Champions League and obviously with domestic cups as well, I think we need another centre-back. We need a right-footed centre-back. So obviously Desarzi's been linked. Fabrizio Romano is still saying that one's on. The likes of Keith Downey saying it's not. It's agent-driven. It'll probably be a name plucked out of thin air, but for me, it's something we need to look at. But On to the positives now, and that weren't really negatives. Listen, it's pre-season, and again with Botman getting caught out in Tonali, it's warm up, isn't it? We're playing for the Summer Series Cup, yeah, but let's be honest, it's all about the Seller Cup, 5th and 6th of August, so they better be ready for that one. So for me, we've got to talk about the title now. The title of the video is, of course, about Louis MILEY. We have to talk about 17-year-old, 6'3", Jordy MILEY. This lad is sensational, and I hate doing this with players because the press. The English press, especially over the years, you know, have ruined careers because they've built up these next England stars and they came crashing down. But for me, you know, people are saying he's the next Phil Foden, Newcastle fans the next Gaza. He looks amazing. Whoever the next, if he's the next Louis MILEY, hopefully he's one of his own. Do you know what I mean? He's one of our own, and he looks sensational. This lad is a superstar, and you see people calling him a generational talent. What a bold claim that is! But even just after a few games, we obviously seen him play against Chelsea in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge last year, hitting the crossbar. We've seen him this summer play a couple of times, last night playing against Chelsea in America, and he was the best midfielder on the pitch. Louis MILEY was the best midfielder on the pitch last night, and he was coming up against £105 million Enzo Fernandez, the Argentinian that Chelsea bought a few months ago, and he was better than him. This lad is a superstar in the making. He is on his way to the very top, and if everything goes well, and I'm sure it will under Eddie Howe's guidance, he's literally going to be one of the best. He's going to be playing for England. He's going to be one of the best. If everything goes well, he lives the right lifestyle. His head's switched on. He gets the right guidance. Everything else, the coaching from Howe, Jones, Tyndall, a lot of them, there's nothing stopping this lad. And I'm absolutely buzzing he's a Geordie, and even more so that he's still at our club, because it seems like we've got a real talent in our hands there. Last night, didn't look out of place at all. Composure on the ball is fantastic for a 17-year-old. It really is. He's reading of the game. He's risky passing. He doesn't just play the easy one. He looks for that ball around. You know, he is top draw. He is top. So, a little cupsies. Ooh, cuppa for breakfast. So Eddie Howe was asked about Louis MILEY last night. You know, will he be going on loan then? 17. You know, we've got a packed midfield now with Tonali coming in and Longstaff having a great year last year. Willett coming back from injury. Elliot Anderson also shining, bit of a different role. No, he's not going on loan. He will stay with Newcastle United. Eddie Howe said it is crucial for his development that he stays in Newcastle with his family and learns at the club, at the Benton base, at the training ground. So that's good to hear. Sometimes it's easy just to chuck them out on loan. This is one where Eddie Howe wants to get him involved. He sees MILEY being a part of his plan. So we will see Louis MILEY getting a chance next year at Newcastle, whether that be in cup games. Obviously, you'd expect FA Cup and stuff, and can you bring him on 20 minutes to go in Europe, things like that, especially if you're in a good position, or we've got out the group stages. We're 3-0 up at home to Villa on the first day of the season, bring him on, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good to see MILEY's going to get a chance, he's going to learn a lot, and to be fair, what better place to learn now? Bruno Gomes commented on his tweet, on Newcastle's tweet about Louis MILEY, saying baller, you know, it takes one to know one. So you can learn from Bruno, you can learn from Sandro Tonali, you can pick up the leadership and life skills off trips and that, so he's in a very good place. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the rise of Louis MILEY. And also, Alex Murphy, we mentioned Fabian Schär's injury. Murphy did come on for him. Nearly scored, had a header saved, Alex Murphy, and he started right, and he looked really good as well. Alex Murphy there, you know what I mean? He looked very comfortable on the ball. He looked a decent player as well. So that there's another little young gem we've got. And remember, with FFP and the homegrown players and all of this, very important that the academy starts getting worked on. So it's good to see a few of the young lads looking like they're on the right track. Now then, so we mentioned Chelsea's goal before Jackson's. Let's talk about Newcastle's now. Miggy Almiron. Of course it was Miggy who scored in Atlanta. You know, the ex-Atlanta hero. Still a hero there. He's worshipped there. He was getting a really good reception from the crowd. And he scored a typical Almiron goal, you know. Cutting in, left foot, bottom corner, bang, goal. See you later. Nice to see his little celebration that he did as well. The Atlanta trademark one. With Martinez that he used to do with, who's, where is he now? Abroad somewhere. Everyone used to always say, oh, bring him in when he's a striker. I'd still bring him in. He was class over there. See what happens. But yeah, Miggy scored. Miggy looked very good. The front three is worth noting that obviously it was Isak on the, Gordon on the left, Isak down the middle, and Almiron down the right. That is a front three that probably will start the season against Aston Villa, if I'm being honest. I think Isak will be played down the middle next year. Wilson to come off the bench, or them swap like they did towards the end of last season. And then you'll see Gordon and Barnes on the left and Almiron on the right, and Jacob Murphy as well. But Almiron, great to get a goal, because He's starting pre-season strong, and that was his key to last year's great form. You know, he did it brilliant starting pre-season amongst the goals, carried that confidence and form into the league. So hopefully we'll see that again from the Paraguayan skipper. And notable mention, Anthony Gordon as well, by the way. Almiron got man of the match. For me, probably MILEY or Gordon, because I thought Gordon was fantastic. He was absolutely bang on it. He was so quick, so sharp, lightning down that left-hand side. Flash Gordon. And his assist for Almiron's goal was brilliant. You know, he loads of pace, bursting inside, fantastic assist, and then Almiron goes on and finishes it. But Gordon, you can see the confidence he's taken from the Euros. You can see the fitness is now up to scratch. He's mentioned that himself, he wasn't ready, and Eddie Howe sorted that out. So I think Gordon's going to have a brilliant season next year. I think that pretty much covers the game, and to be honest, there's a morning update for you on Newcastle United's 1-1 draw with Chelsea in pre-season. Saturday midnight, they do play Brighton in New Jersey. Might do a watch-along for that. Drop in the comments if you want us to do a watch-along. Shall I stay up late and go live with you lot? Let me know. If there's enough demand for it, you know, like the memberships, let us know. I'll do a watch-along maybe. Cheers for watching, everyone. Drop your comments below. Subscribe to Magpie Channel TV and enjoy yourself.